Never did I think I'd live to see the day where Blue Eyes is finally both interesting and actually fun. And you know me, I really do not care for DM era stuff at all. Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bro here, and well, we're wrapping up King of Games for 2025 this year with something new from the DM World Update. A bunch of alt styles have come around, new characters have come around, but one thing that really shines above the rest among those is the changes to Blue Eyes. With Seto Kaiba now sporting his Season 1 look, he now comes with a new skill exclusive to that alt style, and I think Blue Eyes just so fun, dude. You'll see what I mean. Let's take a look at it with the skill of choice, Master of Blue Eyes. You can use the skill's first and second effects once per duel if your main deck contains a total of 15 or more Blue Eyes White Dragon cards or cards that mention it in their text. First effect, reveal one Blue Eyes monster from your hand, add one Blue Eyes White Dragon or another card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, then send Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Blackluster Soldier from outside of your deck to the graveyard. Second effect, if you control a Blue Eyes monster or if only your opponent controls a monster, set one spell or trap card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text. This can be activated on the same turn. So we are starting this off with Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form, must be ritual summoned. Well, there's another way we can ritual summon this, and that's the way we're doing. We'll talk about that later. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card was ritual summoned using Blue Eyes White Dragon, when it declares an attack, you can change the battle positions of as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, any monsters who have had their battle position changed by this effect have their attack and defense points become 0. Also, this turn, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. This can come up from time to time. And you never thought you'd see me using this, did you? Nibiru, the Primal Being. During the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summoned 5 or more monsters this turn, quick effect, you contribute as many basic monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Then, special summon one Primal Being token, a rock type light attribute level 11 monster, to your opponent's field. The token's attack and defense points become the combined original attack and defense points of attributed monsters. This effect is once per turn. So, this is a huge meta call. Primarily against Sword Soul, Predaplant, to a lesser extent Dark Magician, to a lesser extent Stardust Stun, depending on what they have in the get at the time. Most combos in the format are not safe against Nibiru. Most combos in the current format, in fact, hard lose to Nibiru. And with Sword Soul in particular being a very common problem, this is kind of a meta call. So if that can be swapped out for a different hand trap at some point, Droll and Lockbird's another good example, DD Crow to stop the Dino FTK. There's plenty of things that could stop it, but still. Anyway, triple Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand. By revealing Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, and you can only special summon alternative once per turn this way. This card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. And once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated, but this is a soft once per turn. So we use it, get this thing off the field, and bring it back somehow through means of True Light or a personal little secret weapon of mine, we'll get to that later. We can actually make use of the effect again. So, that is definitely a thing. Granted, we'd have to make something else from the extra deck, since unlike with Starlight, we still can't attack upon activating the effect, but hey, what can you do? Sometimes this happens. Anyway, next up we have got Triple Kaiba Man the Legend. This is our party starter. If this card is normally special summoned, you can show 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, deck, face-up field, and or graveyard. Then, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard to your field. If you special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card is in your graveyard, an alternative does count, except during the damage step. You can banish this card, add 1 Blue Eyes monster from deck to hand, each effect is once per turn. Really, really good. And so is Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. We got 2 of these. Other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Each of the following effects of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon can only be activated once per turn, and only while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. If a card or cards on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard or from your hand, if it was in the graveyard when the card was destroyed. In the case of the graveyard, anyway. Next up, at the start of the damage step, in discard battles, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Very useful. And now for my personal secret weapon, Dictator of Dragons. While you control a Blue Eyes monster, you choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks. Each of the following effects of Dictator of Dragons can only be activated once per turn. You can send 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. You can discard 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or 1 card that mentions it, then target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Very simple, very effective. And lastly, we of course have our triple Blue Eyes White Dragon. I am going to be using all the original arts. I do have the selection box artwork that can be animated for a Chronicle, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. At least because I don't like how it looks animated. Anyway, that is it for monsters on the Spells and Traps Double Book of Eclipse. Change all face-up monsters in the field to face-down defense position. During the end phase of this turn, flip as many face-down defense position monsters your opponent controls as possible face-up, then your opponent draws cards equal to the number of monsters flipped face-up by this effect. The 1 Ultimate Fusion, primarily because I feel like we only ever use this once a game anyway. During the main phase, Fusion summon 1 Fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as Fusion material by shuffling those Fusion materials listed on it from your hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon and or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon used from the field as Fusion material. You can only activate 1 Ultimate Fusion per turn. Triple Melody of Awakening Dragon. Now we're getting into ways we can evade getting Veilered or Impermed on Man the Legend, essentially evading a turn skip. Discard 1 card out of the 2 Dragon-type monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from deck to hand. And Triple Bingo Machine Go. Reveal 3 cards from your deck that each meets at least one of the criteria listed below. Your opponent randomly picks 1 for you to add to your hand, and you shuffle the rest into the deck. You can only activate 1 Bingo Machine Go per turn. And the cards you choose must meet one of the following criteria. It is either a Blue Eyes monster, or a spell/trap card that specifically lists the card Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon except for Bingo Machine Go. Now on the traps, we got Triple Infinite Impermanence. Of course, I do finally have these, which were a pain to get. Anyway, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Negate its effects until the end of this turn. Note if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution. For the rest of this turn, all other spell and trap card effects in this column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. And for our 1-up traps, we got True Light. Your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use the following effect of True Light once per turn. This being that you can activate one of the following effects. You can either special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard, or set 1 spell or trap card directly from your deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon, with a different name from the cards you control and in your graveyard. And last but not least, our Limit 1, formerly unlimited, Majesty of the White Dragons. Show up to 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, face-up monster zone, and or graveyard. Then destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. You can banish this card from your graveyard, ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand, while attributing Blue Eyes White Dragons from your hand or field whose total levels equal its level. You can only use each effect of Majesty of the White Dragons once per turn. Generally we're recycling this more often than not, but we can use this to ritual summon Chaos Dragon if we absolutely need to. Anyway, on to the extra deck. We're going to start with the fusions, starting with Dragon Master Knight. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 500 attack points for each Dragon-type monster you control except for this card. And Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. must first either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing one Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. This card is unaffected by trap cards and trap card effects. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and once returned at the end of the damage step. In this card battle, you can target a trap card in your graveyard, set it to your spell and trap zone. So, we can set impermanent if we want to, but primarily we're using this to set Majesty of the White Dragons, one of our ways we recycle it. On to the Synchro Pool, starting with Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. Once per turn during either player's turn, when an effective card in the graveyard is activated, you can get the activation. During either player's turn, you can trigger the Synchro Summon card. Special summon 1 light Dragon-type Synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except for Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. Azure Eyes Silver Dragon is up next. If this card is special summoned, Dragon-type monsters you currently control cannot be destroyed by card effects or targeted by card effects until the end of the next turn. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can target a normal monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. So, mainly to get Blue Eyes back, nothing more than that, really. But half the time, it really doesn't seem like you get the chance to do that. Anyway, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. If this card is special summoned or level 5 or higher monsters is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. This effect is once per turn. And lastly, for Synchros, we have Lightstorm Dragon. If this card is special summoned, you can target spell or trap cards on the field up to the number of normal monsters in your graveyard plus 1, and destroy those targets. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a spell or trap card in your graveyard, set it, but it cannot be activated unless you control a normal monster. Each effect is once per turn. Granted, we'll be getting back Blue Eyes very easily anyway, and since that's a normal monster, thank you True Light, it means we can recycle Majesty of the White Dragons and activate it anyway. And lastly, RXC's Pool, Divine Dragon Knight Valgrand. Once per turn during either player's turn, you detach 1 overlay unit from this card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. This turn, its effects are negated, but it's unaffected by other card effects. The Gersu, the Orchestra of the Evening Star. You can always special summon the Gersu once per turn. You can also exceed summon this card by using an Orchestra-like monster you control as an overlay unit. If a card or cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach an overlay unit from this card instead. If this card is special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Either send 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is the only one we'll be able to do, or the one we can't do, attach one of your banished machine-type monsters to this card as an overlay unit. And lastly, number 68, Santaphon the Sky Prison. Gains 100 attack and defense points for each monster in both graveyards. Once per turn, you can attach an overlay unit from this card until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyards at all. So, I hate this floodgate with a passion, but there's a reason I ended up choosing this. We need this for a couple of specific matchups. Namely, Dark Magician, it really helps, and Stardust Stun. That is kind of a big deal. Being able to lock out Plague Spreader, Zombie, and Quillbolt Hedgehog is pretty huge. You'll see what I mean, trust me. Anyway, that is it for the deck proper. You can probably switch in Veilers instead of your Impermanents if you don't have copies of that. You can also choose to go Droll Lockbird or DD Crow, stop the FCK from Dinos, all that stuff. But let's get on to replays, starting with a couple of bonus ones. So we're starting things off with the Blue Eyes Mirror. This ought to be good.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. The quickest path. Duel! Here I go.
And here we go.
The legend. I activate Kaibaman, the Legend's effect.
And this right here is why we call Kaibaman the party starter.
Not a single. I synchro summon a monster. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. Rise. I activate my spell card. The melody of a
And even if we had imperm, it wouldn't have mattered. Because, you know, casually evading the turn skip.
Let's do this. I activate Kaiba Man, the Legends effect. I'll pull. I set a card. I activate my. I set a card face down. Here I go.
So it's time to show why Dictator of Dragons is kind of my secret weapon.
I activate a quick. There's only. You have no chance.
So we have a Blue Eyes in hand. Majesty of the White Dragons at the ready. That's not going to cover it by itself.
Dictator of Dragons effect.
By milling with Dictator of Dragons, we get an extra Blue Eyes. You would not think it at first, but this is really helpful.
Dictator of Dragons. Blue Eyes check. Fly at top speed. I activate Dictator of Dragons. Not a single. I activate my quick play spell. I fusion summon a monster. Equip and Kaiba Man, the Legend. I activate Kaiba Man, the Legend's effect.
And so, Kaiba Man gets to be funny at this point. Yeah, basically we got through all the interactions before committing to our normal summon. And so, Lightstorm Dragon gets to destroy True Light safely.
True Light's effect activates. I set a card. I set a card face down. Battle. Dictator of Dragons attacks.
And yeah, there we go. That is how we do it. That is Dictator of Dragons coming in clutch.
This can't be real.
Yeah, even I have to admit that's pretty funny. And now for the second of the two bonus replays I've got before the climb proper. Starlight Drive. I'm so happy you got buffed, but why did it have to lead to cringe? Yeah, people are using this for outright stun, or in this case, Zombie World.
You'll learn exactly why it's foolish to challenge me.
I'll prove
Duel!
It's mine from my hand. I activate a spell.
And of course the Sky Striker engine, so Vector Blast is a go.
Witness the... Take flight! Witness the... The synchro... When I have a tuner, come, Quillbolt Hedgehog! I activate my monster. Okay. I'm counting on it. I synchro summon a monster from my hand. I end my turn.
Get ready. My draw.
So this is a bit of a lucky break. However, full story bro, but imperm.
I set a card. Watch closely. I special summon. I activate Kaiba Man, the Legends effect. My monster's effect activates.
I discard effect veiler from my...
I activate my replay spell. Ultimate Fusion.
I play my trap card. Shooting star.
I activate my...
Formula Synchron's effect activates. Okay. I synchro summon a monster.
Fusion Summon.
Yeah, nice try, buddy.
Equip and combine. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. I activate Dictator of Dragons. Dictator of Dragons. I activate
I never knew.
And there we go. That was pretty easy. You played that wrong, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Anyway, so on to the climb proper. Roughly about 15 or so attempts later, yeah. That was a train wreck of a run, but hey, we got this one at least, so... At the very least, no Eldritch. Yeah, I don't know what it was. But half the time I just go like win-lose trading, or 2 wins and then a loss. Anytime I get 3 in a row, the 4th game seemed to always be Eldritch until this very run.
I'll see just how tough you are. Duel! It's my turn. This is my battlefield.
And so, Sky Striker.
I activate a field spell.
Why are you playing Super Poly?
This one appear. I summon him. I know what to do. I link summon him. I activate my monster's effect.
Casually just out engage.
Draw! I activate my spell card. The Melody of Awakening.
What? Here's my set card. I activate a
And
counter
Curse the
trap.
Sail. Joy.
I'll pulverize you. I set a card. I activate Dictator of Dragon. Dictator of Dragons. I activate Dictator of Dragons effect.
That won't work.
I activate my trap. Majesty of the White Dragons. Witness the incredible creature of unsurpassed
Well, that just
power.
happened.
Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Yeah, funnily enough, you can summon Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon with Dictator of Dragons if you really want to.
Where did you learn to duel like that?
Amateur.
What even was it that was destroyed? Oh, Blizzard, right. Yeah, fair enough, I suppose. But hey, that was funny. That went by surprisingly quick. Anyway, next up we got Shinobird, and I'm gonna give a bit of a hot take now. With a Mono Milano banned, Shinobird kinda sucks. The literal only thing you have to worry about ever
The world you
Time to duel.
going
My
specifically second into it is stars that line across the Milky Way. If you're playing Cosmic Cyclone, you can just get rid of it. No big deal. Furthermore, going first into it, yeah, you have to worry about Change of Heart, Shinato, and well, all that. But if you're making an unaffected boss monster in some form or fashion anyway,
Activates its effect.
that hardly even matters.
The spirit monster Nikitama. How do stars align above the shrine to ritual summon?
You want to try me, buddy? Go right ahead.
Peacock Nikitama's effect activates. Shinobird Shade Peacock's effect activates. I activate the spirit monster Yasha. Take a look at this. Please summon. I'm activating my ritual spell. Ritual summon.
And the Baron.
Sakitama activates its effect when it's tributed. Spirit monster Nikitama. Take a look at this. I link summon a monster. Nikitama's effect happen. Link summon.
And so here comes Deco Talker Heat Soul.
I'm set eyes. Shinobird. I special summon. I activate stars align above the shrine's effect. That brings my
Get
turn
ready.
to an end.
draw.
Like that's gonna work. I activate my trap card. Stars align across the Milky Way.
Well, here we go.
Now then, Ice, Shinobird Shade, Shinobird Shade.
The spell card. Bingo machine. Go! I add the card.
So I try to get literally anything that can help me, and I end up getting the worst possible option here.
Monsters
making this worse is Duel Links, but I don't really care about that too much.
I set a card. Let's do this. I special.
I'll use stars align across ritual summon. Shinobird Peacock, activate.
I activate my trap.
That's
Majesty of the White
I
Dragon.
activate my.
You really think I cared about you making IP off of that, or whatever? I don't really care, because all I had to worry about was the fact that you just caused that whole thing to fizzle.
Dragon activates its effect. Fly at top speed. Kaiba Man, the legend. I activate Kaiba.
I'm a person, not a machine.
And, well, there we go. We were able to play through. That was pretty easy. In all honesty, that was kind of a joke. Now, had he made Nightmare Unicorn, I would have gone for Shinobird and... probably...
You're not ready to compete on my level.
Prepare to sleep with the fishes.
Duel.
All right.
Probably the back row?
My turn. Prepare to be.
But more Sky Striker.
Set a card face down. My field spell activates. Prepare to decapsize. From my hand, I activate a spell. I'll show you no mercy. My monster's effect now is the perfect. My monster's effect.
I swear, they always get engaged.
From my hand, I activate a spell. I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster. I set a card. My monster's effect activates. My turn is complete.
Here I go. Draw.
But if that's all you're doing, this is gonna be
I set a
easy.
card face down. The spell card. Bingo
You
machine.
have taken
Go.
my fate.
I activate.
Yeah, counterpoint. You're the one who got baited, buddy.
White Dragon.
Nice try. Nice try. My monster's effect I'm counting on you. I special summon a
Casually with the trolls
Watch
today.
closely. I spent my monster's effect activates.
You have taken my fate.
Let's
My
force
monster,
Ray.
I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster.
Kaiba Man, the legend. I activate Kaiba Man, the legend's effect. Not a single I synchro summon a monster.
We'll go Spirit Dragon here, even though it's not going to
I
matter.
activate Dictator of Dragons. I activate Dictator of Dragons. Watch closely. My monster's effect.
We'll the Shizuku, and we'll go Felbrand.
Seize summon. Battle. Watch and learn.
You have taken
Unfortunately, White Princess also works on Exceed, and so we have no more attack points to work with.
I draw. From my hand, I activate a
Think
spell.
that'll work on me.
From
My
my hand,
monster's effect
I activate a
activates.
quick play spell.
Alright, you want a Widow Anchor, buddy? That is your drawing game you'll have to worry about.
From my hand, I activate a spell.
I activate Blue Eye Spirit Dragon's effect. I'll play this. I'm not so fast. I set a card.
You were a worthy opponent, a true champion. You earned.
That was a bit of a weird choice, because Lightstorm was going to get destroyed anyway, so that just kind of left him with nothing, while I could have just easily done my thing. I don't know what happened there. That was a case of a weird interaction, but hey, worked out in my favor, didn't it? Now, with Merrick Ishtar, I was scared, because after dealing with Dino FTK for a while, I was expecting that again. And then I saw Archive Skill, and I had the biggest sigh of relief. Because all this is Despia. Yeah, all this is, when it used to be, like, legitimately tier 0.
God. The quickest path. Seto duel. Here I go. There's only one champ. Kaiba Man, the legend. I activate Kaiba Man, the legend's effect. Not a single. You have. I set.
We'll just go ahead and set True Light.
Synchro summon. Blue Eyes. I activate my spell card. The
Melody, pitch Nibiru, because it's not going to help us here.
Here I come. I special summon. I activate Kaiba Man, the legend's effect. I activate my continuing. I set a card. I set a card. I end my turn. My game is only getting. I draw. I'll show you. The Egyptian. From my hand. From my hand.
And funny droplet shenanigans. What did he discard with that? Nibiru, he had the funny rock. So that's the thing, we do have a big combo, but we also have a Nibiru safe line, if we so choose.
Up here! Fusion summon! I activate my monster's effect! I activate my monster! Up here! Come
Ironically, by paying those life points, you just screwed yourself
I
over.
activate a field spec! I activate my trap! Majesty of the White Dragons!
That gets rid of branded opening.
Dragon. Fly and I set my car. Battle. Take this. This turn was another.
I don't understand why he didn't just get rid of the jet then and there.
Let's do this. My monster's effect activates. Now's my chance. I activate my monster's effect. True Light's effect. Let's do this. I'll play this. Exceed summon. My monster's effect activates. I activate my trap.
Guess what gets to come up?
Dragon. Watch closely. Ritual summon. Will now battle. Now, my monster's effect activates.
Chaos Dragon moment.
What have you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Yes! He actually said it this time! Thank you! It took forever! Oh man, I was really hoping he'd say it at least once, because typical tradition for Kaiba, if he doesn't say the line, I will legitimately re-record the whole thing. That is just so iconic. But the first actual rank-up attempt took a while to get to. Only for it to be Stardust again. Stardust Stun, basically. Or in this case, it's Stardust Zombie World, but let's be real, it's basically being used to stun. However, I did get the big combo.
To challenge me.
Sure. I never turn down a duel.
Duel. Get ready. My turn. Kaiba Man, the legend. I activate Kaiba Man, the legend.
So we are going to have to do Kaiba Man the Legend here. Unfortunately, I did just draw into my one copy of True Light. I really wish that was something else that I could have just pitched with Melody of Awakening Dragon. So instead I have to pitch Dictator of Dragons. This is another reason why I run two of this. The other being, I kind of just want consistency with this combo. This combo in particular is really funny.
The Melody of Awakening Dragon. I synchro summon a monster.
So we just use Kaiba Man and the Blue Eyes to make Spirit Dragon, revealing Blue Eyes in hand to get Alternative in play, but also we'll just use Skill Search Dictator of Dragons again. Set Majesty.
I'll play this.
Banish Kaiba Man the Legend to get Jet Dragon. Send a Blue Eyes to graveyard to summon Dictator of Dragons. Then pitch a Blue Eyes card in hand to go ahead and bring back a Blue Eyes White Dragon. In this case, I'm pitching the Blue Eyes because I want Jet Dragon in my hand. Reason being, in this matchup we make number 68 Santa on the Sky present. In most other cases like Sword Soul, you'd make Divine Dragon Knight Felran, but shutting off the graveyard's just way too good.
My monster's effect. Give it your best shot.
My turn.
Not that it will
I
help
draw.
you.
From my hand.
My turn.
I activate a spell card. From my hand. From my hand. I activate a spell card. From my hand.
And so he just guaranteed 3 spells in graveyard, no reason to risk that.
Spirit Dragon's effect. Here I come.
Lightstorm Dragon, ahoy!
My monster's effect activates.
Take flight.
I activate.
And we'll just force Stardust Dragon off the field.
Victim Sanctuary. I'm counting.
Reminder though, because number 68 is still in play, he can't bring it back.
I activate my must.
True Light's effect activates. I set a card face down.
I'm not scared. Here I go.
Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Fly at top speed.
So all due respects, this is actually a pretty good end board.
I set a card face
end my
down.
turn.
Here I go. It's my draw. True Light's effect act. Not a single card. I activate my quick play spell. Ultimate Fusion.
And guess who gets to come up?
Summon for the Ultimate Dragon. Go, Dragon Master Knight.
Yeah, this may be the only time I brought out Dragon Master Knight on a successful attempt. But hey, that's actually kind of fitting, all things considered. Nice attention to detail. That shot right there is a little bit different depending on who you're playing. If it's just Nami Yugi,
Activate.
the animation's a little bit more focused on Blackluster Soldier. I love details like that.
Over. Dragon Master Knight, attack. Dragon Saber Blast.
And this is why I do not play Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. With the exception of Azure Eyes, and Black Rose Moonlight in this case, on this climb, every single card in the action deck came up.
But it'll take more than that to knock me out.
Amateur.
Just play freaking Synchron with this or something. It is actually possible. I'll see what I can do. But, if you can't tell, speaking of Synchron, Blue Eyes currently, as of this format, reminds me so much of Synchron in terms of how versatile it is. And you know how much I love me some Synchron. There's just so much you can do. I love this. You have your classic combo starters, you have all your basic stuff. You have your extenders, you have your basic and around hand traps, you have plenty of ways to actually interact with the opponent if you go second. It is a little bit of a glass cannon sometimes, but when it's not being a glass cannon, it's just being a outright cannon. Synchro toolbox, fusion toolbox, usually Tyrant, your Xyz lineup, even making Chaos Dragon sometimes. There's just so much that Blue Eyes can do. And none of it's necessarily overbearing now that Majesty is limit 1. Yeah, we used to play Reinforcer of the Army, by the way. So, that was a thing. But, that said, Blue Eyes is really, really fun. And I never thought I'd live to be able to say that seriously. But, here we are, Duel Links somehow made it possible. I never planned to actually take this in this month, but Ecclesia was being very evasive and took until the bottom of the box on the third trip for me to be able to get the third copy. So, that kind of put a damper in my plans. I finished Blue Eyes long beforehand, so I said, screw it, let's take this in, see what I can do. And this was so much fun to play. I can't believe I'm saying this. I still can't believe I'm saying this, even now. Man, I love what they did with Blue Eyes here. Normally, I'm sick and tired of DM-era stuff constantly getting support, and in particular Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. This time, they did something interesting with it and made it actually very flexible in all the right ways. Again, the only negatives are, if you're board breaking going second with Nibiru, sometimes the fact that the rockets on your field at all can just get in the way, and also, it again can be a little bit of a glass cannon. Plus, if it grinds for a bit too long, especially in Eldritch, there's just not much you can really do. You know how much I hate Eldritch. If you know, you know. But with that, that's all I really have to say for this one. As for how I'll be starting off next year, I've got a poll going on right now for what you want to see with Starlight Drive, because I finally got the cards ready to cook. But do you guys want to see the Sky Striker engine with Synchron, because that is actually something we can do? Or do you want to see the original Combo Theory stuff I cooked up with Starlight Drive and Sword Soul? Either way, it's going to be interesting. Until the next video, whatever it might be, probably one of the two, or just something else altogether. Later, guys.